Okay, because Disney, they bought Lucasfilm and they're starting a whole like new empire buying everything. So they bought Star Wars, made The Force Awakens, and they decided, you know what, we can make spin-offs so they have Rogue One.
If my father built this thing, we need to find him.
All right. How many do I need?
They are requesting a call sign.
It's, Rogue One.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is directed by Gareth Edwards, and it stars Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, Ben Mendelsohn, Mads Mikkelsen, and a bunch of other people, including Darth Vader as well. So in the opening crawl of A New Hope, there is a line of rebel spies sealed the plans to the Death Star. That's this movie. It's a story that follows Felicity Jones, her name is Jyn Erso, and she's recruited by the rebellion to go find her father, who has something to do with the Death Star, and they end up going there and they find out about the Death Star itself, and they are trying to get the plans to the Death Star so they can show the rebellion how to blow it up like they did in episode 4. So they end up recruiting like a whole gang of 6 people, including Felicity Jones and all that. Well, it's really 5 people and a robot. And what do I think of probably yet? This is the riskiest Star Wars movie yet. I think it's actually great. Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso, she was great. She was a really interesting character and someone that you could really get behind and understand their motives for everything. Diego Luna as, I think his name's Cassian Andor, although I keep getting his name mixed up with Lando Calrissian and Cassian Andor. He was great too. He was kind of like someone, he was more of like a realist, someone who actually knew what he was doing with the rebellion and all that. Someone that could sort of like riff off of Jyn in a way, in a couple scenes at least. If there's like a big character that's really, really good, that probably stole the movie aside from one, which I'll get to in a minute, it's the droid K2SO. And K2SO, he's funny. The only way to describe him or compare him is to compare him with Tars from Interstellar. Tars was like really sarcastic and all that. And that's probably the best comparison for K2SO. I feel like he's a better droid than C-3PO or R2-D2. He's more fun, he's not as like taking the orders like C-3PO, and he actually speaks English, unlike R2-D2. And he was really good to kind of give the movie some comic relief. Ben Mendelsohn, I thought he was a great villain in the movie. I wouldn't say there's that much development towards him, but he's a very capable villain. I mean, the Star Wars villains as a whole, they're very capable. And for those who are actually going to the movie to see Darth Vader, if you're going there only to see Darth Vader, you're better off not going, because he's used quite sparingly. I think he's only got 2 or 3 scenes in the movie. Those scenes with Darth Vader, they are used brilliantly. Like, in some of the scenes, he's like a horror movie villain. It's actually scary sometimes when he's on the screen. It's just his presence strikes fear into the rebellion. I also think that the action sequences too, they're gritty, they're dark, they're kind of grounded. It's new to the Star Wars franchise as action goes. Like, it's all different shot compared to the other movies. Like, it's the brand new way on how they actually film the action. And I think part of that is because it's not an episode, so people don't have to rely on some sort of nostalgia or visual tangibility with that movie and like the rest of the saga. Whereas this can be like, this stands alone. You don't have to watch any of the other movies, although once you finish this movie, you really want to go back and watch A New Hope. That's what I like most. I like the story and the concept of the movie. It's a brilliant movie concept, making them steal the Death Star plans and try and send them. That's the plot of the movie, stealing the Death Star plans. That's a great concept, something that they kind of skimmed over in the opening crawl of A New Hope. And I really like the characters too. The characters, some of the rebels, they're not like straight cut good guys. They're not Captain America. Sometimes they make really, really dodgy and bad calls. But you understand why they're doing that, because this is a war. I feel like they've done something that's just different that they haven't done in other movies. And they've kind of introduced extremism as a part of rebels. Like, there's Empire, and there's the Rebellion, which is kind of like this middle ground fighting for good against evil, and then there's the extreme rebels, which they introduced in this movie, and I thought that's a brilliant concept. I haven't seen that explored, and I feel those characters, they, as well as just your regular characters, they provided some weight to the movie. The movie, I feel like it gets better, because the more of you think about it, it just provides more weight. But for the characters, you think about the characters, you think of the weight that they actually gave to the movie, some sort of groundedness to the movie, something that made it different from the other Star Wars movies and actually made it better. If there is a flaw with the movie, which I feel like it's a flaw right after you watch the movie, because the more you think about it, the more that flaw subsides, And that's that the first act, it's quite choppy. It's very, very choppy in the way it's edited and the way it transitions from scene to scene. But then the action all of a sudden picks up a lot more, and the story picks up a lot more, and that first act kind of comes together and becomes part one with the rest of the movie. And the flaw subsides from it being like, okay, before then it's just kind of like, I'd buy it on DVD. That's the movie. But the more you think about it, the more you realize it's the Empire Strikes Back of prequels. And I will say Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is platypus-tacular. Have you seen Rogue One? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. What other spin-off movie would you like to see for a Star Wars? Let me know as well in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to become one of the Platypi, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh wow, you made it to the end of the video. Good job. How about you click that subscribe button for more content? Or click one of these two videos. You know, either one's good enough.